Hello guys, welcome to 2021 NFL Mock Draft Part 4, picks 25 to 32. If you guys haven't watched parts 1, 2, or 3, I highly advise you guys to watch it so you know what players are off the board, and there's also a couple of trades so you know about those trades too. This is 2021 NFL Mock Draft Part 4. With the 25th pick, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Samuel Cosmi, offensive tackle out of Texas. With the first pick, the Jaguars selected quarterback Trevor Lawrence, hoping that he can turn out to be their franchise quarterback. But to be a high caliber quarterback that the Jaguars are expecting from him, he needs a good support cast. So far, that cast looks fairly good, with running back James Robinson and wide receivers Marvin Jones, DJ Chark, and Laviska Shenault. The O-line is pretty decent too, but they could use a tackle opposite of Cam Robinson, which is why selecting Cosmi is a great pick. Cosmi is an athletic lineman who is great at run blocking and easily gets into the second level of the defense to start blocking. Cosmi has experience blocking at right and left tackle, so the versatility is there. On the other hand, he needs improvement with strength and pass blocking. With some experience, Cosmi can turn into an elite O-lineman who will protect Trevor Lawrence in the years to come. With the 26th pick, the Cleveland Browns select Jason Oweh, defensive end out of Penn State. Oweh had 20 solo tackles, 0 sacks, 0 forced fumbles, and 0 interceptions. Over free agency, the Browns signed defensive end Jadeveon Clowney on a 1-year deal. Unfortunately, Clowney isn't like his former self. In last year's free agency, the Titans signed Clowney to a 1-year deal, but he made little to no impact due to the combination of poor play and injuries. So that same form can continue through this year, which is why they need a talented backup, which is what they get in Jason Oweh. Oweh is a strong and explosive player who can turn his hips into unrealistic angles to get around tackles and get to the quarterback. But like Kwity Paye, Oweh's talent just can't increase his production, which can be seen in his 0-sack season. After watching Super Bowl 55, everyone understood the importance of a good offensive line and a good pass rush. If you need to get a $500 million quarterback like Patrick Mahomes to struggle and run around all game, you need a great pass rush, and that's what the Browns can get with Jason Oweh paired up with Myles Garrett on the edge. With the 27th pick, the Baltimore Ravens select Trevon Moehrig, safety out of TCU. Moehrig had 30 solo tackles, 0 forced fumbles, 2 interceptions, and 9 pass deflections. Before the beginning of the 2020 season, safety Earl Thomas was released due to a fight with fellow safety Chuck Clark. Their defense was still very good, being number 2 in the league. Over free agency, the Ravens lost edge rushers Matthew Judon and Yannick Ngakoue to the Patriots and Raiders respectively. But Moehrig is arguably the best safety in this year's draft class and is just too good of a player to pass up on. Moehrig has great size and speed, and he is a ball hawk who can track the football very well. Some things he needs to work on though is consistency tackling in the open field, not falling for the double moves in coverage, and diagnosing the run quicker. With some hard work and coaching, all of this can be improved because he has the potential to be as good as Earl Thomas was. Adding Moehrig to an already elite secondary with Chuck Clark and Marcus Peters can turn this defense into a turnover factory. With the 28th pick, the New Orleans Saints select Zaven Collins, linebacker out of Tulsa. Collins had 36 solo tackles, 4 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and 4 interceptions. In the start of this past free agency, the Saints had the worst cap space in the NFL at negative $100 million. Due to this, they had to release or trade players like Trey Hendrickson, Quan Alexander, Janoris Jenkins, Emmanuel Sanders, and Malcolm Brown, among others. This leaves holes all through the team, so they could draft players in a variety of positions. I believe they will go with choosing linebacker Zaven Collins. Even though stats aren't everything, Collins' stats are pretty impressive. Collins has a great combination of speed and size for the linebacker position. He is also a great tackler, and he's a sideline-to-sideline linebacker, making plays all over the field. Collins does have to work on his play recognition and changing directions more quickly. Overall, Zaven Collins is a great pick to pair up with Demario Davis in an already elite defense. With the 29th pick, the Green Bay Packers select Kadarius Toney, wide receiver out of Florida. Toney had 70 receptions, 984 receiving yards, and 10 touchdowns. Since Randall Cobb left the Packers, Devontae Adams has been carrying a lot of load in this offense, being the only consistent receiver through the season. Wide receivers Allen Lazard and Marcus Valdes-Scantling have shown flashes of potential, but they are inconsistent. While this might make Adams a great fantasy option, it sure isn't ideal to have one reliable receiver on the offense, which is why they need Kadarius Toney. Toney is a quick slot receiver who can run complex routes, break tackles, and has great run-after-catch ability. Some of his downsides are that he's a little inconsistent and he's missed chunks of time due to injuries. But if Toney can stay healthy, he can add another dimension to that Packers offense run by this season's MVP, Aaron Rodgers. With the 30th pick, the Dallas Cowboys select Christian Barmore, defensive tackle out of Alabama. Barmore had 15 solo tackles, 6 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, and 0 interceptions. The Cowboys' defense was horrible last year. They were 31st in rushing defense and 28th in total defense. Their offensive line was also banged up, with guard Connor Williams, the only starting lineman to play in every game this season. This year, with starting tackles Tyron Smith and La'el Collins appearing to be healthy, they have less of a need at offensive tackle. But their defensive tackle play was so bad that they need an immediate upgrade, and they get that in Christian Barmore. Barmore is a strong D tackle with average feet. But the best thing about Barmore is that not only can he stop runs, but he can also pressure the quarterback, which only certain D tackles like Aaron Donald can do. Unfortunately though, Barmore is pretty inconsistent, contributing little in the 2020 regular season. But you add him to a D tackle core with the young Tristan Hill and Neville Gallimore, and you got a defense that is going to serve running backs for years to come. With the 31st pick, the Kansas City Chiefs select Alex Leatherwood, offensive tackle out of Alabama. The Chiefs were favorites heading into the Super Bowl. They looked like the better team until they weren't. Their 2 starting tackles, Mitchell Schwartz and Eric Fisher, were injured and missed the Super Bowl. And they had to put in 2 backup tackles against the best pass rush in the NFL, and it was a disaster for the Chiefs, with Patrick Mahomes running all around the field. In the offseason, the Chiefs released both of their starting tackles, which means they need new tackles to protect Mahomes, which is why they need Leatherwood. Leatherwood has long arms, great body frame, and can open his hips and recover quickly against speed rushers. On the flip side, Leatherwood needs work on blocking in the running game and needs to be more aggressive against D linemen instead of just pushing them. Leatherwood has experience playing for a championship caliber team, and that experience will help him play for the Kansas City Chiefs, who will probably play in more Super Bowls in the coming years. With the 32nd pick, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Levi Onwuzurike, defensive tackle out of Washington. Onwuzurike had 20 solo tackles, 2 sacks, 0 forced fumbles, and 0 interceptions. The Super Bowl champions Tampa Bay Buccaneers did a great job re-signing their star players that led them to that Lombardi trophy. In fact, they were the first Super Bowl winning team in over 50 years to have the same starting 22 players as the previous season, which is a great accomplishment. But there's still room for improvement, and with players like Ndamukong Suh in his mid-30s, it's only going to be a matter of time before he retires and needs a replacement, and this is where Onwuzurike comes in. Onwuzurike is a powerful player who will use brute force to get into the backfield. He is also great at open field pursuit and tackling. Onwuzurike could use some help with better hand efficiency and staying square, which are all just coaching adjustments. In a couple of years, when Sue retires or leaves for another team, the Buccaneers will have a talented player to plug in and pair with Vita Vea, keeping this pass rush dangerous. Throughout this 4-part series, you probably heard me say arguably the best player in the position or something similar to that. Well, that is because there is no scouting combine and some players opted out last season due to COVID, so it's hard to judge who the best player is in each position. I tried my best to project which player each team will draft, and your favorite teams will also try their best to draft quality players that will help them win the Super Bowl. Also, comment down below which pick you agree with the most and which pick you disagreed with the most in this series. Finally, I request you guys to like this video and subscribe to the channel because making videos like these aren't easy. They require lots of time and hard work. So all I ask in return is to like this video and subscribe to the channel.